October 10, 2022. We'll start with a prayer by Commissioner Palmer and the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner McCamey.
Would you pray with me, please? Father, thank you for this opportunity to serve the people of Anderson County. I pray that you would give us your wisdom in making decisions, and I pray that we would honor you in all things. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is the approval of agenda. And we need to add the election of chairman under that as well.
I'll second.
Do we have any other nominations?
Make
All
a
in favor?
Make a motion that you be elected by acclamation.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. The approval of agenda. I think we've got some things we need to add.
I'd like to add something here. I'd like to add a resolution to apply for federal assistance from the U.S. Department of Agriculture for the purpose of building a new Anderson County animal shelter.
Okay. All right. I think the mayor, did you want to discuss any of the TDOT stuff or any of that?
I can just do that under announcements.
Okay. All right. All in favor of the agenda as amended?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimous. The next is appearance of citizens. Seeing none, we'll move on. First is discussion concerning the rate of pay for poll workers. That's something that I talked to Mark Stevens about, and he's got a conflict, so he can't be here tonight. But in front of you, you'll see a page, and it gives the current rate of pay for the poll workers. And they're working an average of 12 hours per day. They do work a shorter day on Saturdays. Most of their days is 12 to 12 and a half hours. And if you'll look at the EV officer, is $85 per day, so divide that by 12. And the EV worker is $70 per day. Divide that by 12, and that comes out to about $5.83 an hour. And most of the people that are working, they're in retirement age. I think the average age of the poll worker is 73. So they're on a fixed income, and with inflation the way that it is, it's almost costing them more to come to work to do it. It's a service, and it's something that's much needed. And I mean, there's a level of trust there in these poll workers. And so I talked to Mark today, and he said that their committee was going to take it up in October to have something ready for November. So, but he did say, now this was his comment, that, county commission would probably have to fund it. So I don't know where all their money comes from, if they've got it in their account. But he would have something to discuss again in November.
That would go through budget too, though,
It
right?
would.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have to go through budget first. But this was just, kind of awareness to let people know that when you go vote, you see these poll workers, they're out there doing the best job they can.
Yeah. Do you know if jury duty is still $11 a day?
I think it is. Yeah,
Is it really?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and that, believe me, it costs more to do, it's a public service.
Yeah.
But, our voting is very important, the integrity. And we got to keep these people, and they're having a hard time getting poll workers.
Question,
Go ahead, Mr. Commissioner.
any idea how many poll workers we're talking about?
I think 200.
200?
Yeah, I think that's what he said. And it usually runs, I think what he told me today, the cost per election is about $50,000 in wages. So. Anyway, he said that he would bring it up to their committee and then he'd report back to us. So, but I think maybe what they were gonna recommend was 10%. But still, yet 10% of $5.83 is not much.
No. What, the cities reimburse the county for their elections, is that not right?
I have no idea.
Is it- Don't the cities reimburse the county for the city elections?
I've never heard that.
That's
Not saying it doesn't, I've just never heard
I was thinking they did, but I'm not sure. But I don't know what you would do when you have a city election that falls on the same day as you have a county election.
That's true.
But for some reason, I was thinking the cities always reimburse the county if it's just a city election. Maybe if it's separate from a county election, they do. But the city of Clinton, they've got an election, but it's on the same day as the
State election.
state election
Yeah.
and the federal. I'll have to check into that. For some reason, I was thinking it did, so.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll move on to proposed zoning amendments to Anderson County zoning resolution.
I don't know if you've gotten copies of it.
Yeah.
This is just a proposal for what we're looking at, us and the, East Tennessee building. And we're hoping that we can restructure it to be more, user-friendly and not be so, redundant over and over. So basically, it's just a proposal. If y'all look at it, y'all have any questions, y'all have any concerns about something that we might be proposing, or if you have any suggestions on something that we're proposing, that would be helpful for our meeting.
And everybody's welcome to come to those meetings as well, and we have planned workshops for that.
Yep.
Do you know when the next workshop's gonna be on that?
No, I'd have to check the schedule.
Okay.
Sure don't.
I know we talked about it to the last planning commission, because what we were going to do is if there's a light agenda, that we would do it following that.
Right.
Then I think we're gonna go ahead, because we're getting close to getting this done, set days.
It's pretty much gonna be a light schedule this time, so it'll be probably on the planning commission.
And I think planning commission is planning on keeping the operations committee abreast of any changes and what's going on, just like what she's doing now. So to look at, because I know, especially in rural areas, where we have some things about our mobile home regs, subdivision regs are going to change, to make it really more user-friendly to understand, because a lot of that stuff is redundant in there, and you can read it a couple different ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have a copy there.
One copy for you. I can go make more if y'all need.
But the people that make up the planning and zoning are very, they know what they're doing. You've heard me brag on them before. They're very intelligent, we've got architects and just everybody that's on there. They really, they ask the right questions and they do just a tremendous job.
I served on that committee and I just sat back.
That's what I do. I sit back and learn every time.
I thought, well, they know more than I do
Yeah.
about it, so there's some real good people on that committee.
They are.
Absolutely.
Any questions? How's everything going in Oak Ridge on their planning commission?
I missed all of September, but they're doing a land use assessment, which is really taking up a lot of the last few months. What you can do to these empty lots, and they're trying to get the land bank to get some building. All the land bank has lots that are finally being built on. So it's a long process, this land use, because there's so many teeny lots to try to figure out. But the feds obviously own so much that you have to ask for pieces every now and then. So it's tough to gain land in Oak Ridge, that's for sure.
I understand they're probably building some homes that only have an overhang, so they can get that.
Oh, so the
Yeah,
setback?
the setback.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's remarkable,
Mm-hmm.
the need for housing.
Yeah. There's no such thing as affordable housing anymore,
No.
you know. That's the
I
problem.
mean, there's a need for housing and a great need for employees.
Yeah.
I got one question. On the VRBO and bed and breakfast,
Mhm.
are those addressed in this new round?
Right, we will be looking at it as far as what we want to, you know, put on the, put in the regs and everything, so.
I know we went through about 2 or 3 months here of some problems over in the Claxton area,
Mhm.
and we were told that it has to go to the planning commission, and the planning commission has to make any changes, so I'd like to see those changes made to address that problem we had over there.
Okay,
And what a lot of that comes down to is the homeowners association
Right.
is how it's brought up. But we spend probably as much time on that as we do anything.
Yeah.
All right. Mayor?
I was trying to do some internet searching to answer Commissioner McCamey's question. Looking at the National Conference of State Legislatures, their data said that the state reimburses for expenses for a special election in Tennessee when a state assembly member is on the ballot. They reimburse all of the expenses, but the state reimburses a prorated share of costs when state officers or measures are voted on in a state primary or in a general election in an odd number year, and for a vacancy election to fill the position of a U.S. senator or representative. So I'll get confirmation from Mark on that, but it sounds like the state is reimbursing us a portion of those costs, and maybe that is something, if you all do that, it might be able to be reimbursed. So anyhow, that was just kind of on the fly research. I don't know. I'll have to verify the accuracy of that. So back in December, at full commission, this went through the operations committee before December 21st, 2020. It was voted on by full commission. We had a motion by Commissioner Smallridge authorizing me to pursue a USDA Community Facilities Loan and Grant Program for the construction, furnishing, and equipping of a full-size animal shelter. That was seconded by Commissioner McCamey and passed. In finalizing everything that we've needed on this application, USDA said that they need a resolution instead of just a motion. So that is what is in front of you, is an actual resolution with a number. The only blank I have on there is an amount not to exceed. And this is for application process only, so any financial authorizations would have to go through the finance committee and through that process. I don't really have a number to put there. Originally, when we were working on this in 2020, we were looking at approximately $3 million. And, you know, I don't know with the costs the way they are now, what that number is going to look like. And we could, I mean, it's only for an application, the application side, so I don't know what you're comfortable putting in there. I could say 4.5 million to be safe as far as the application, but whatever you're comfortable with, I just don't know at this point. I mean, the design hasn't changed, nothing has changed about the project. I just don't know if we actually go to bid today, what that number is going to be.
So your recommendation is 4.5?
I think that would be safe. I mean, I think it would be safe to say that. And it gives us leeway. It is just for the application.
I'll make
We have a motion by Commissioner Allen,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner McCamey, and Commissioner, how do you actually pronounce your last name?
Barron.
Barron, that's what I thought, Commissioner Barron. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimous.
Thank you, Commissioners. Also, not for any action, but I did put on your desk tonight, and maybe we could take this up in November or December at your pleasure. Back in the summer of 2021, we discussed at the Operations Committee looking at our county seal. The county, we could find no record of any official seal. It just appeared on a budget book one year. And so this body put together we said, let's go to RFP. We'll put a group together. Catherine Ajmeri in purchasing issued the RFP for designer or developer. That committee was made up of Commissioner Phil Yeager, Stephanie Wells, the Director of Tourism, Zach Foster with Archives, myself, and then Rick Meredith from the Chamber of Commerce. And we reviewed all of those. We had several folks apply for that. We reviewed them all, scored it, and awarded the bid to PDS Development. From there, we had meetings where we talked about, each of us as a representative on that committee talked about what is it about Anderson County, what's the story you want to tell, or what's important to you. And so that was the ground level discussion. And from those discussions, they keyed in on certain words, trust, progress, different commerce, different things about our county, and came back with multiple designs. And from there, the committee worked on narrowing those down to some consensus ideas. So in front of you is the result of that work, and you'll see there is a brand guide, and the brand guide is basically whatever department uses it, it's how to utilize the actual logo itself. So you don't want to stretch it, you want to use certain colors, and it provides that continuity. And then I put in front of you I didn't print out each particular design, but these are all acceptable, black or blue or the colored, depending on whatever department wanted to use it, but they would have to abide by the standards of the brand guide. And then there is the proposed county seal, which if you look back at the historical seal, instead of some of the pictures that, for instance, there was a cow on there was Bull Run Steam Plant, the committee instead said, let's highlight those very same things, but let's do it in words. And so you'll see that around there: energy, commerce, agriculture, history, industry, education, and recreation. And so these are the proposed coming from the committee. And again, I just, when I didn't see a lot on your agenda tonight, I thought, well, this might be a good time to put it on there and just let you all look at it, soak it in, and talk about, do you want to put this in motion in the coming months? So that's why it's in front of you. And I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Something just to kind of fill you in too. So for instance, if you look at other counties like Knox County, theirs is, some waves. And then it says Knox County. This type of identifier is something that can be changed with time. So this is more of a marketing, just to provide continuity. If people are out in the community and they see a truck or they see a convenience center, it becomes, part of their, just like marketing Tide or anything else. They recognize that as something belonging to the county or representing the county. And, 10 years from now, this may change. You may want to stick with it, who knows? But the seal would be more permanent. The seal would be once adopted. The intention would be that would be our county seal. Of course, it could always be changed, but the intention would be that would be the county seal. It would have more longevity.
Add something. We're the only letter A county, so we wanted to highlight that A so it's immediately recognizable as us. That was one of the reasons why we went with such a bold
Oh, I like
A there.
That's why I recommended trademarking it, because it is, I mean, whoever did that did a great job, because you look at that, you think of the Angels, you think of the Astros, you think of Atlanta, you know, yeah.
Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Speaking of trademarks, I would recommend that you do a trademark on it,
Okay.
because it's not like Anderson County is going to get into the retail business or anything like that, but it protects you should somebody start using it in a fashion that county deems
That's a good
improper.
point.
You know, like you pointed out, off color or something like that, you know. So it gives you some strength there
Very good.
to stop any misuse.
Excellent.
Are you wanting any,
Oh, no, I
Action
just
tonight.
thought, you know, tonight, I did not put it in the agenda packet, so I just was distributing it, and then if you all want to take it up, I can put it on the agenda for November. If you want to think about it a little bit longer, I can put it on December's agenda, however you want to handle it. But I just thought,
I think y'all have done a terrific job.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
I would be ready to move on it now, because I don't see how you could make it any better.
Well, how about I bring it back November then?
Okay.
And maybe, do
That'll
you
work.
want to put it in the minutes of the meeting, just to accept it, and that way it'll be in there for other commissioners to see and the public to see on the agenda for the full meeting?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okey-dokey.
So you made a motion, we have
Yeah.
a second?
Second.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimous.
And the only other thing I have is, I spoke with Chairman Isabel about if you all wanted, I could on a regular basis, maybe even quarterly, give you an update of projects for the Tennessee Department of Transportation. This would be their projects. I can do that if you like, if you want me to. Okay.
Please.
It would probably help the folks at home too. So we have, currently, the current project status is bridge over Bull Run Creek. The engineering is currently underway on that one. US 25W and Clinch Avenue from near Carden Farm Drive to near Yarnell Road. 0.8 miles, bicycles and pedestrian facility. The engineering for that is currently underway. Bridge over Brushy Creek, the right-of-way, this is at State Route 61, the right-of-way and/or the utility process is currently underway. State Route 170, this is from SR 62 Oak Ridge Highway to State Route 9, that's US 25W Clinton Highway. The length of this is 6.2 miles. Currently, the engineering is underway on that one. State Route 62, Oak Ridge Highway to near Melton Lake Drive. So what they've done is that's Edgemore Road. They've split that into two projects. So at the bridge down to Claxton is considered one project, and the bridge to Oak Ridge is the second project. The engineering's currently underway for that one. Near Melton Lake Drive, State Route 9, engineering is currently underway. From Dutch Valley Road to Half Moon Road, this is 4.1 miles. This is a safety project with a lot of good safety improvements for this particular project. The environmental studies are complete on that one. And then there are some various, which I can get more information on this. There's some various local roads in Anderson County that have local safety initiative dollars going towards them. They are in the environmental completion on that. Environmental studies are complete. Then state industrial access serving Norris Industrial Park, thanks to this county commission, you all helped make that happen and match that for Norris. The right-of-way and/or utility process is currently underway. And then near mile marker 109.6 to near State Route 61, that's exit 122, this is I-75. They're doing an intelligent transportation system. Engineering is scheduled to begin in the fourth quarter calendar. And I can bring these back maybe quarterly, because sometimes they do let projects or they'll award bids, and I can share that information with you. And that's all I have.
Has anyone else got any comments they want to make about their district? It's something that's going on, you know about?
I have one that just is kind of new. At the corner of Melton Lake and Edgemore, there's a condo, Centennial Bluff, I think it's called. And that has recently been purchased by another individual, so that could probably be another couple hundred units, because they've got about 30-some in each building. And so they're going to build more buildings and some individual residences that he'll be renting. So there's some stuff going up there that has been dead for a long time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything? I want to talk about, about another fellow commissioner, is Commissioner Foster, which is the city manager for the city of Rocky Top. And a lot of times things go on that the public don't see. You know, they see potholes, they see fences that need to be painted, but they don't get to see all the other stuff that they're doing. And I've got 2 pages of since, you know, he's been city manager, of all the grants that's been approved for the city of Rocky Top. And I just want to highlight a few of them. He got a City of Rocky Top grants and funding is $6,289,317. It's pretty good. Wow. Got a CBDG grant, $525,000 for water line replacement and extension. And if you live in that district up there, you know all the problems we've had with water lines. And that's just for inside the city. TDOT multimodal access grant for sidewalk improvements, multi-use path, pedestrian lighting, streetscape buffers, so the downtown area is really going to look a lot better than it does now, and that's $899,878. USDA search grant of $30,000 is evaluation survey. Another CDBG grant for $289,000. New fire apparatus equipment to stock the truck. TDEC infrastructure grant, $45,000. Water system model and mapping, USDA grant, $250,000 for equipment, which is police department. We've already got 3 new vehicles. Body cameras, public works and water, asphalt recycler, and that's going to be a big thing to fix their potholes, is because they can take and recycle asphalt, and then they don't have to, they'll actually have the thing there that keeps it hot.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's going to be a big effort, but what they want to do before they want to fix the roads and get the water, I mean, before they fix the roads, they want to do the sidewalk and the water project before they go in and repave all the roads, which makes sense. We got Appalachian Regional Commission, $500,000 already received for wastewater system. EPA Brownfields Grant, Partnership with East Tennessee Development District, $65,115,000. Public Entity Partners, over $15,000. Safety Grant, Property Conservation Grant, Driver Safety Grant. TDEC, ARPA grants, wastewater system again. And that's a big issue for the cost of a city. Anderson County TDEC funds approved by County Commission. That's what we approved last month, $257,000. They got $326,000 from Campbell County. TDEC infrastructure grant, $45,000. Another one for wastewater system flow and monitoring. SRF funding, which is your sewer plant rehab. FEMA Assistance Firefighters Grant Program of almost $44,000. So, you know, a lot of times you don't see or hear about this stuff until somebody public. So anytime anybody's got anything to talk about in their district, if you tell one, you've told 100. So, all right. Any old business? Anything else to come before this committee? Motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you all so very much, and thank you for your confidence.